This is PMDG at Flight Sim Expo 2025. Why don't we talk to them? The starting price of a Boeing 777 is $306.6 million. Yeah, I'm just a little short today. But you can buy the PMDG simulator version of the same Boeing 777 for $75. That's quite a difference in price. You should write that down. Oh, here's a pen. Speaking of this pen, check this out. This is the official PMDG promotional pen. They were giving these away at the Flight Sim Expo 2025, so, I just took one for myself. Why not? And then I noticed something. When I was flying their simulator, Boeing 777, the same pen was tucked into the captain's side, so that was quite a nice touch. In fact, they are known for their detailed and highly realistic aircraft simulations. But honestly, who am I to talk about the company? Let's just talk to the CEO. What would be the number one question you would want these good people on YouTube to ask you in 2025?
Oh, I need a minute to think about that. The number one question that I would want people to ask me in 2025, when is the PMDG 7.7 coming? And I would say probably late 2026.
Late 2026?
Yes.
So they need to be patient.
That depends on what they're waiting for.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've got a couple of 747s coming, and there's some other stuff coming.
Okay. And what are these good people doing over here?
So we've got a number of workstations set up to demonstrate the 777 and the 737 so that we can allow customers to have an opportunity to ask questions of our development team who are guiding them through some procedures and showing them some things about the software that maybe they didn't know just from having flown it at home. But also giving people just a chance to enjoy flying the airplane, practice a couple of landings, maybe get some tips from some of the flight crew that we have nearby, and to learn a little bit about the product and what makes it so good.
Right. So have you seen a lot of young simmers this year?
We have, actually. There's been, with the advent of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, there's been a complete change in the demographic of the customer base. Microsoft has really wrapped their arms around the gaming community and brought a lot of new simmers into the market from the gaming community. So I would say the average age of our customers has probably dropped by maybe a third, maybe even a half. And that has really brought a whole new level of energy into the entire community.
Do you see any real challenges going into the future?
Yes. There's technical challenges, and then there's sort of pseudo-social challenges. The technical challenges are that we are developing on a dynamic platform. So Microsoft is and Asobo are in the process of making changes to the platform while we're developing for it, and that creates technical challenges. Things break that shouldn't, things don't get fixed that should. There's no ill intent, there's nobody to blame, it's just very complex systems, and sometimes getting things to mesh together is challenging. On the sort of the social psychological side, the things that I worry about most for the community are changes in the way flight simulation is marketed, and specifically the flow of developer funding and developer sponsorships through the YouTube community, and how that changes the dynamic of honesty and what people say about a product. For example, when we give a product to a YouTuber to review, what we tell them is we don't wish to have any editorial input on what they say about the product. We simply want them to be as honest as they can. What I think a lot of consumers of YouTube videos don't necessarily understand is that there's a lot of sponsorship going on inside that community, and sometimes that sponsorship can create a little bit of spin on the message. If I'm a YouTuber and I'm getting sponsorship from a developer, that might change or influence the way I review certain products as opposed to others. I wish there was more transparency in that. There's nothing unique about this in the flight simming industry. This goes on everywhere in the world. It goes on in every market and in every relationship. But it's something that we have not traditionally dealt with in the flight simulation industry, and I don't think the public is as aware of it as maybe they should be. Those are the things I worry about.
And those are some of the things that I would worry about as well as a consumer like you. Because as a consumer, I want to make sure that the reviews that I'm watching are non-biased. And that gives me an idea. Because you see, I already own 5 of their products. I already own 4 of their planes and 1 pen. So perhaps I could review some of their products that I already own. Now, I kind of already reviewed the pen at the beginning of this video, but no one really cares. Those are just free giveaways. But the planes are not. You need to pay for those planes with your own hard-earned money. Now, you don't need to pay $306.6 million, but still, it's your hard-earned money. So you want to be sure that you are buying a good product. Now, I'll do the reviews, but I can already break the suspense and just flat out tell you that their planes are worth every penny. And speaking of pennies, they need those pennies to keep developing new products for us. So, this is more like a community. You can be involved with partially financing the whole development of those products. If you wanted to develop it yourself, it would probably be out of your budget for most of us. But this way, you can just pitch in and you already have a product to use. It's pretty much a no-brainer. And you can really tell that this is not just some kind of cold, profit-driven corporation. All of the products that they make are just a labor of love. So they are just part of this community, and they are the developers, and we are the users. And we can all just work together. But we really need to buy their products because that's what's going to make it happen for all of us. So let's think about that. And until then, thank you for watching.